All right, so now we're going to dive a little bit more into our lines, leader, and tippet for Mexico. And, we've already talked a little bit about some gear that you'll need and to accompany the reels that you're taking down, the reels with good drags that are going to be reliable for you. You're going to want to continue to having reliable gear down there. This right here is going to be the factor that you can control. You can't control fish eating and what they're going to do out there, but some of the factors you can control to maximize your success are going to be right here, and these are very critical. First, with your reel, putting on backing is very important. So you get into some bigger permit or even bonefish, tarpon, you're going to be taken into your backing. So having strong backing for down there, some 30-pound either Dacron or gel spun. Gel spun's going to be a lot stronger. And just making sure that your reel is basically at backing capacity, because you're going to want as much as you might need just in case you get taken into that backing. You don't want to obviously overspool your reel to where your line's too tight, but you want enough backing on there to ensure that insurance policy of going into your backing. And connected to your backing is going to be your line. I personally like Scientific Angler lines. There's still some really great ones out there. Orvis makes a great line. Rio makes a really good line. There's a lot. And I like Scientific Angler. Specifically, the Grand Slam line is a great taper for Mexico and just for saltwater in general. It's a little forgiving. It's really easy to pick up and put back down. The Infinity taper is another great one. And here we basically have 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we even have a saltwater intermediate line, which are going to be good for your migratory tarpon if you're going to go down there during that season. And to go off of that, next up are going to be your leaders. And when fishing down there, you're mainly going for bonefish, permit, tarpon. And so for bonefish, a great leader is just going to be a 9-foot, 12-pound leader. And depending on how much you want to go for each species, I'd recommend different amounts of each leader. If it were me, I personally like to permit fish, so I'm going to do less bone fishing. I'll probably take 2 bonefish leaders. Next, permit, a 10-foot, 16-pound leader is going to be your go-to bread and butter permit leader for down there. I will take at least 4, and so I have 2 permit rods down there. Means I have 2 fresh leaders to start the trip, and then as things get shorter or leaders get frayed, I have 2 more backups. It might even be a good idea if you're staying longer to take a couple more. And then for tarpon leaders can get a little bit more interesting. You can definitely vary your leader here depending on what size you might be going for. A good tarpon leader for bigger tarpon is going to be this 12-pound 40-pound shock, this 12-foot 40-pound shock 20-pound class leader. This is a pretty standard great tarpon leader that has a breaking point, and it's not going to do too much harm on the fish. It's going to be safe for you. It's a good leader to have down there. This is a 2-pack. Again, for me, I'm more focused on permit down there, but if you're focused more on tarpon, I would recommend a few of these. 2-pack is good if you want to just maybe go after them a couple times while you're down there. And then for tippet, we're going to want kind of a range here. And I have 12-pound, 16, 20, 30, 40, 60. And the reason I have so many is just in case I need to build a leader while I'm down there. I have all the material I need. Your bread and butter really is going to be 16-pound in case you need to add some for your permit leader. 12-pound for your bonefish leaders, maybe 20 if things are pretty windy and the permit are less spooky. That can come in handy. Otherwise, these 2 are going to be kind of your go-tos. Another interesting trick when bringing some of this heavier stuff, 40 and 60-pound, sometimes I like to tie a couple feet of 40 pounds to the end of a leader. So basically where my line connects to the leader, having this heavy butt section at the back end of your leader helps you turn that over a little bit easier, especially if it's windy. or if you have a heavier crab pattern. And that is what I would recommend for leaders, fly, and tippet for Mexico.